Hello, hope this finds everyone well on a Wednesday morning. So, we have come to the last of our class. So, I have given several options for the last discussion post. One refers to the book, another refers to a PBS website link to Inside the Teenage Brain. You're welcome to pick one of those topics. I believe there are six of them and write about those, or you're welcome to write about this topic. So there is something that we missed, and so this is kind of really gives an opportunity for me to come back in and address the things that I felt like, well, we didn't get to that, and that was kind of important. One of the things that I felt was kind of important that we missed, that your text didn't discuss, was the concept of something called false self behavior. And this concept was introduced by Susan Harter and Anne Monsieur in some research out in the 90s. I believe 92, 96, they published some studies on false self and on upwards of today. So the false self, if I can give you a definition, is really a false self behavior is something that manifests a lot about between the ages of 14 and 16. It really appears to peak about the age of 15. So we know that adolescents, as they are aging, are really in search for an identity. And it appears that, especially here in our culture, that's one of the limits of the study, is it's focused here in the United States. We have an episode where, or multiple episodes where we manifest kind of different behaviors specifically in different settings. And based on the research, it appears that adolescents will adopt almost a multiple, not, I wouldn't say it's multiple personality, but they seem to have some diffusion, some lack of clarity on who they are. And we've all been there. Hopefully, growing up, we were like, oh gosh, is this important to me? Is that important to me? And so I think this is an important concept because it helps those that work with adolescents, particularly between the ages of, say, 13 and 17, where you're trying to understand, why did you do that? Why did you behave that way? What in the world were you thinking? And what the research suggests is that people go and play out these false self behaviors in different contexts, and in order to try to find who they are. In other words, it's not just thinking out, oh, that's who I want to be. It's almost a trial and error of, okay, well, let's see. And it's not even so much as, I think, a conscious effort. I think it's just it's where the brain development is. Hopefully you all watched the MRI technology, the fMRI scans on the adolescents in the PBS videos. But um, because the brain is changing so rapidly about this time, this other huge growth spurt about the time somebody turns 15, starts hitting puberty, the frontal lobe just starts to explode with growth, almost resembling when we were babies, 0 to 5 years old, where there's just this explosion of neural growth. That happens again when we're about 13 to 17. And so there's this identity confusion where you go out and you kind of so to speak experiment in different contexts, and then based upon your own internal feedback from how that behavior went, or how you felt doing it, or maybe it's external feedback, what feedback you got from others in that context, that behavior either will or will not become a more permanent part of ourselves. So hopefully that makes sense. That's false self behavior. And so for your post, if you choose to go this way and write about this video post, think about ways in which that has perhaps manifested itself either in your own life or in the lives of those who you either care for or know in some sort of capacity, particularly around the ages of 15, where a person may engage in a certain type of behavior that didn't end up being their true self, a reflection of who they really were. Think about maybe even phases. So there's a there's a term for that called false self-behavior. Susan Harter is the researcher from the University of Denver, for those of you that would like to go and do some more digging and research. So anyway, just gives you another option. Hope you found this class beneficial. I will miss you all. I know this was the best online experience that I've been a part of, as far as either my own experiences as a student and my definitely my experiences as a teacher. And it has a lot to do with you and the amount of passion that most of you have put into the discussion boards, into the assignments. Just very, very impressed. This is what it takes to make a successful online learning environment. So thank you very much. I'll miss you guys. I look forward to having you in other classes and our future interactions. Take care.